Next up, David Charles Allen, Village Properties Realtor and host of The Hop.
Welcome to The Hop. This is David Charles Allen, Realtor at Village Properties in Santa Barbara, California. My good friend and co-host, Patty Teal. I'm doing great today. Patty, how you doing?
I'm doing great too, David. Thank you for asking.
Of course. Yeah, we got some really nice weather ahead for us. Temperatures and they're scattered throughout the 60s, sunny, partly scattered, cloudy skies. So some really beautiful weather here. How about yourself?
Well, we've finally gotten a cool spell in Florida. And by a cool spell, it might not be a cool spell to people in other parts of the country, but it's getting up into the 70s and it's just beautiful weather, cooler in the morning and cooler at night. So I'm really enjoying this time of year.
That's amazing. Yeah, we've actually had the last couple of days have been really good for surfing, and looking ahead too, we're going to have probably the next week. There's going to be some really fun swell out there for everyone that's looking to finally get in the water.
Ooh, I know my son will like to hear that. He's actually out here in Florida right now, but no wonder he's talking about getting back to Santa Barbara as soon as possible. That explains it.
Yeah, we finally got a good run of swell going. So I know just driving along the beach a couple of days ago, it was the first real day of some real waves, and everywhere was just packed. You could see people everywhere. So everyone was really excited to get back in the water and catch some fun waves.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah. And in terms of real estate and interest rates, they really are starting to go up pretty quickly. 3.5% for a 30-year fixed rate and conforming, and then 3.125 for a 30-year jumbo. So I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, we were talking to 3%. When you kind of break down the numbers, 0.5% does make a pretty significant difference in terms of what you're paying at each month. So that does change potentially people's ability to buy based on how much they're able to spend.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I wonder if they're going to go up and down, or if this is a trend where they're going to continue going up.
Yeah, they keep saying they're going to just keep going up, but we did have those several months where they'd go up and go back down. So it's interesting to see. That can impact the market, definitely, because it's going to just change the buyer pool about people's affordability, and with prices already where they're at and how they've just gone crazy over these last year or so. It can really impact the market in a potentially way that we haven't seen in some time.
Well, that's very interesting, David. I'm so glad that we have you on weekly to keep us appraised of what's going on.
Yeah, of course. And in terms of statistics, there's 25 new listings, forward price changes, 20 that closed, 22 that went pending, 1 that expired, and 3 that were coming soon. So again, relatively small amount of new listings coming to market, and just as many new listings come as homes that have sold. So we had 1 week where there was a significant difference in terms of pending and new listings, but we're staying consistent back to about having the same supply as we've had.
Right. So, David, I know you're not a psychic, but I know you have a lot of knowledge about the real estate market. So my question of the week is, what is your prediction for the real estate market in general and in Santa Barbara?
So predictions are always going to be tough. There's so many different factors at play to really give an insightful prediction in terms of what's going to happen. What we do know is that there's still such a low supply of homes. We do know the interest rates seem to be going up. Prices don't seem to be skyrocketing as much as they were. They are definitely staying high. So prediction wise, if more supply of homes come to market, less people are able to afford those homes at these prices. That would typically mean prices would go down or level out even more. But it really is going to depend on if new homes are coming to market. It doesn't seem like a lot of people are still selling a lot of homes at this time. There's still a huge home shortage throughout the entire country, and specifically in Santa Barbara. In terms of new construction, that's been limited as well because of prices of new materials. it's difficult. We have so many people and such a limited amount of homes in general. There's always a home shortage for people that want to buy, at least in the times we're at now. So it's difficult to give a prediction on what's going to happen. Right now what's going on. I mean, it really comes down to what you see fit for your future too, if you're interested in buying or selling.
Right. And although there are trends for the entire country, I imagine specific places have different scenarios. Santa Barbara is very unique. There's not much space to build out any further. Being in Florida, it's also one of the hot spots, as was Arizona, but I'm not sure that will apply to other places in the country. I just don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to say. Like, Santa Barbara is limited, like you're saying. And we had a lot of people from these big cities moving here that just made everything more expensive because it was so limited. So something like in LA, maybe they will see a downward trend of people kind of moving out of the big cities, and somewhere like Santa Barbara can continue to see an uprise in terms of demand because of that. But also at the same time, people have moved to these smaller cities and realize that's not for them. And maybe they'll be migrating back to some of these bigger cities. It's really hard to know what people are going to do because they're so unpredictable in a sense. And it's always going to depend on the people, on how things react in the market as well.
Thanks for your thoughts, David. It will be really interesting to see how it plays out this year.
Yeah, if you want like a prediction in terms of sellers, for sellers, it's a great time to sell now. It's still a really hot demand. Like I said, we haven't seen these skyrocketing prices like we have, but we still are seeing these multiple competition bids, especially in the lower price range. And when I say lower in Santa Barbara, that's the $1 million to $2 million price range. We're seeing a lot of activity in that and really quick sales, and usually over asking with multiple offers if you have a desirable home in a desirable neighborhood. Again, at the upper end of our market, we're seeing a little bit more of a leveling off. People are spending a little more time researching and trying to get the home they want. So prediction-wise, it is still a great time to sell. Who knows if there's going to be a lot coming to market in the future or not. But it's definitely an amazing time to sell right now. In terms of buyers, prediction-wise, rates are still really low. They are 3.5%, which is historically really low. If they start coming back up, we could see prices go down potentially, but a lot of people are buying with cash, at least in Santa Barbara. So in terms of buying, it's really hard to predict when the best time to buy is. It's really going to come down to what's your comfort level with paying a mortgage, and do you want to invest your money in something you actually own and live in? It's different than having something in stocks where if the stock market were to go down, you're not still living in the home, essentially. So it's definitely going to be unique to each person's situation.
Absolutely. I was talking to a friend the other day back in Santa Barbara, and her son's business was buying foreclosed properties, but there have been very few of those because people didn't need to do that. Things sold so quickly. So his way of making a living pretty much dried up. So it's just interesting. Each person's experience will be different.
Yeah, when this first all started happening, a lot of people predicted a lot of foreclosures going to be happening because of just the economy being the way it was. But there's a lot of government influence where they restricted banks on being able to foreclose on homes and forgiveness and stuff like that. And in contrast, prices just skyrocketed. So people weren't underwater to have to be foreclosed. They could just sell and make a living and pay the bank back. So it's definitely impacted the foreclosures for sure.
Well, thank you for all that great information. Would you give your contact information, David, in case anybody wants to get a hold of you?
Yeah, my number is 805-617-9311. And my email is david@davidcharlesallen.com. It's 805-617-9311 and david@davidcharlesallen.com.
And very quickly, we need to get an update on the fur babies at home. Sadly, I can't talk about it too much because it's still too raw, but I put my 22-year-old doggy down yesterday. But on the other end of the spectrum, you have the new puppy, Moose, which if our people have been listening, they know that's his new name. He went for a short period of time without one as you tried to figure out his personality. How is Moose and the other pups and cat doing?
Well, yeah, I just want to send your love. I know Big Buddy was a big part of your life, so I know that was really hard on you, and you're always going to be with him, and that's just so much love there that you had all that time to spend with him as well. And in terms of Moose, he's getting huge. He's still kind of a terror, but he's such a cute face, and he's a very amazing dog for sure.
Oh, well, I'm so glad that he joined your family. He sounds amazing, and I can't wait to see him in person. I'll probably come back to Santa Barbara this summer for a month or so, if not sooner. So maybe I'll get to meet Moose.
Oh, that's a dude. We'll have to make that happen for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you, David. Thanks for all the great information. Have a wonderful week.
All right, Patty, let's give it a go next week.
Bye-bye.